Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues. This is Rob's Roundup. I don't remember the number of it. I've got it written down in a little book over there. I think it's maybe Rob's Roundup 4, maybe 5. This is the news and information portion. If you've seen the Aquaman review that was right before this one, it's probably over here somewhere where you could click on view. I said there was going to be a video coming up after that I had said I was going to talk about what I'm planning on doing with my Mattel collecting and just collecting in general. So this is that. This is the spring or the early summer edition. And I started saying a little bit of what I was going to talk about in this video during the Aquaman video. And that was what I'm planning on doing moving forward in my collecting and what you'll probably see on Rob's Rogues. Excuse me. And that is, I'm at a position, I'm at a moment in my collecting that you can see a lot of them up here, my Justice League and Justice League villains type shelf, and my Batman shelf is right here. Young Justice would be above this, and above that would be DC Collectibles, and Arkham City is below. I know somebody's going to say, we'd like to see some of your collection, and I will be filming certain parts of those collections after this. Some of the shelves aren't lit, so they're really dark, so you probably may not see some of those. Anyway, Aquaman was the most recent figure that I picked up, and technically Raven, which she is right over here, just got her from a good friend of mine off of Facebook. He was selling some of his figures, got her for $12, which I thought that was cool. That was $12 shipped to my house, so I have her yet to review. But Aquaman's the last figure I technically actually bought. And kind of like Chapman Films said in one of his videos, that he was at a point with his Mattel collection that he was saying, I think I have about all of the figures that I'm looking for, and I'm just about there with mine. And if I'm not able to get any more, fine, wonderful. I'm happy with the ones that I have. There are a few that I would probably get rid of, that I only bought them because of the Collect and Connect piece, etc. For example, if I can find him, Mercury here. I really don't know enough about this character. He was in Wave 16, so I had to get him to get part of Bane. Jonah Hex is around the same way, not a big Jonah Hex fan. I got Apache Chief, so there's some of the Apache Chief wave that I'm not a big fan of. But I started looking at my collection and started going, I think I'm done. Now, I'm not done collecting. A lot of us toy collectors will just find something else to collect, and that's something my wife's like, oh, you say you're done with this, now we're going to go on to something else. But I have a blackboard over here, a dry erase board that you can't see, but I've written down everything that I have bought in this year from January to February. January to May, being Memorial Day, is coming up in a couple days. Today is Friday, so Monday is going to be Memorial Day. So everything that I've bought, I have a rundown. I'm not going to run through all of them. You can just go back through Rob's Rogues in reverse and see everything up to like my Christmas episode, where I talked about there were things that I was wanting to get, and I had been saying that I was trying to cool down the spending jets, and I wrote down the prices of stuff for this video, and I am shocked at the dollar value that I have spent. And if you spend $15 here, $12 there, you don't kind of notice it. I bought 17 figures, and if you count some of the Zerbos type things, I think I bought enough for an action figure, so I think I spent $15 on dollar little ball things. But I'm losing my train of thought. 17 figures, and I wrote down the approximate price. Some of these were like the Justice League 7-pack my wife bought me was like $99.99. I just rounded that, to $100. And I wrote down all the figures that I bought and everything. The rough estimation was 17 figures that have been purchased from either from by myself or from my wife through birthday and Christmas and that type of stuff in there. 17 figures, approximately $481, and you might as well round that up to catch a couple little other things like my Superman shirt, Man of Steel that I bought for $7 at Walmart. So roughly $500 I have spent from January to May that I said I'm going to try and cool down my spending jets. That just kind of blew my mind and thought, what home projects could we have done for $500? Not that I regret buying any of my figures. I love all of them. But I've heard the phrase, jack of all trades, master of none. I feel like I'm spreading myself so thin collecting that my collections are incomplete in a lot of different places because I haven't honed in my collection to kind of one central thing. I'm not buying any NECA stuff. I'm not buying He-Man and, Star Wars. I used to collect Star Wars a lot, and I just got to a point where I've like, enough is enough. I think I have enough in my collection to represent the things that I like and love. And primarily from people watching Rob's Rogues know that I'm a Robin fan. Robin and Batman and then the supporting characters. And with buying, Green Lanterns and Shazams and Red Arrows and all these things, I'm taking away from the thing that I like the most. Like, oh, there was this Robin from a Teen Titans wave from DC Direct that I never got, but I managed to pick up 17 other figures in the process, and I look at that and go, wow, I could have not bought those 17 figures and got this one central figure that I really liked. Again, I like everything that I have, and this isn't one of those. It's like, well, I need money, so I'm going to start selling my collection. No, you're going to have to pry these out of my cold, dead fingers because I love all my figures. But I'm at a point where it's like, I think I've spent enough money on the Mattel end, and I'm still collecting superheroes and things like that, but I think I'm leaning more towards the DC collectible side. And I wrote Game Changer on my whiteboard over here, and under Game Changer I wrote Darkseid. Getting the Darkseid figure now, Stu Murray 47 has reviewed him. I can't remember half the other people that have reviewed him. He's on one. I'm seeing the Superman reflection shirt in my video finder, and I'm going, oh, Stu reviewed him. And that is such a massive figure, highly detailed, having that Darkseid on my shelf and going to Toys R Us and seeing the Mattel version of Darkseid. Now that I have the DC collectibles, I go, there's no way in the world I'm going to pick up the Mattel Darkseid figure when I have such a great figure from DC Collectibles. And I really started looking at my Mattel figures like that. I have the Justice League 7-pack, and I love all of those figures. And I have their counterparts in Mattel, but, God forbid the house is on fire and I can only grab 7 figures. I'm grabbing the DC Collectibles ones first. Of course, I'm going to try and grab a box and just rake everybody right off the shelf into this massive box and run out of the house. Or I have a window over here, start chucking figures out the window feverishly in my comic books and everything. But looking at the amount of money that I'm spending, going, okay, I'm going to buy the DC Collectibles version, and then I'm going to buy the Mattel version. And then I'm going to buy the DC Collectibles version, then I'm going to buy the Mattel. And I started going, I just want one figure to represent who and what that figure is, and somebody to look at it and go, oh, you like Green Arrow, and oh, you like Aquaman, and go, oh, you have 4 Green Arrows, and oh, you have 5 Aquaman, oh, you have 18 Batmans. Excuse me. So I think that is where I'm kind of coming to terms with my collection. I'm not stopping by any means, but I think I'm only going to get those figures that go, this is the best version of that figure, and I'm going to get it. Now, am I totally going to stop buying Mattel? No, I'm not. There are some holes in my collection that I would like to try and fill, and I've got a board over here, so I don't mean to not look at you guys, but I've got to turn to read this. Mattel has announced the Damian Robin figure, and I imagine he's going to be coming out in a Batman Unlimited line very soon, I would hope, so I'm definitely going to pick that one up. The new 52 Shazam is coming out for the San Diego Comic-Con. Of course, he's a Mattel figure, so I would very much like to get that. It's going to be kind of hard to track that down. I don't want to pay an arm and a leg, so I'm really hoping, cross my fingers, the DC Collectibles is going to come up with a Shazam in the new 52. So if they do that, I think I will be okay and not getting the Mattel version. I would love to get a hold of a Beast Boy from Mattel to go with my Raven and Cyborg and Robin and Donna Troy, Wonder Girl, and some of my other Young Justice to kind of make my Teen Titans, or what I'm going to call my Young Titans, or Young Justice Titans, whatever. So I can hold my teens together. I would really like a Beast Boy. So if anybody has one they'd like to sell or trade, hook me up. I have pre-ordered the 1966 Batman TV show Mattel figures, the Batman and Robin 2-pack with the building. I'm probably not going to get the rest of those figures. I would love to. It's going to have to be one of those I go to the store and just kind of see it on the shelf and go, yeah, I'm going to break down and pick it up, because as much as I want to be a completist, I'm trying to be a realist and realize, wow, if I've spent $500 right now, we're not even at almost the halfway point of the year, might I spend $1,000 by the time we get to Christmas time? So I'm really trying to watch what I'm buying, and I want to have plenty to be able to review, and there's going to be plenty that I'm going to still be reviewing on here. I'm really gearing up to do some comic book reviews. I have an Arkham Unhinged that I've been talking about forever, but I finally have the tools and the editing to really kind of do it the way I want to. I'm thinking about getting into podcasting here pretty seriously, and I want to cover on my first podcast the Batman comic series War Games. So that's something to look for. Maybe I'll put some previews on YouTube. But the DC Collectibles is really kind of where I'm wanting to go. Because like you can see, my figures up here are basically just standing there. I may have some in some poses. But the very top shelf is where all my DC Collectibles figures are. And I'll get a little shot of that for you guys before the video ends. And the other DC Collectibles figures that I've already pre-ordered are Martian Manhunter. Now these are all new 52. Martian Manhunter, Captain Cold, Black Manta, and the Joker. And they're going to look great standing up there next to or alongside all the other DC Collectibles figures that I have. I would like to think that Mattel's going to throw some other Batman Unlimited figures at us. Maybe a new 52 Nightwing or a Red Hood, or just some other figures. But Mattel's wave size is getting smaller and smaller. 3 figure waves, no collect and connect piece. And originally the All-Star wave that had Batman and Superman up here, that came with Red Robin and Superboy Prime, that was actually supposed to be the last of the Mattel figures. And then they decided, well, we're going to kind of go on a little bit, but no collect and connect pieces, and the wave size gets really short to 3 figure wave sets. So that's kind of how Mattel is churning out those figures, and they're getting harder and harder to find in stores, so you're having to go online, and now you're paying for shipping on top of that, or you're having to pay scalping prices on eBay. And I'm really looking at it going, do I really want to pay that much for a figure that should be $15, and I'm going to go bid it on eBay? Robin is a perfect example here. Spent $62 on a figure that he should have been $15. And I get that it's a rare figure, so the cost of the figure goes up and all that type of stuff. But that was kind of the moment that I was like, I just spent $62 on a Mattel action figure that I had in my hand, a few years back, that I should have bought it for the $35 that it was originally priced at. So that's kind of where I'm going at the moment. Aquaman being that finishing touch for my Justice League shelf up here. I've got Cyborg from the Teen Titans standing there. He's from the Teen Titans, but Cyborg and Green Lantern are the only 2 new 52 figures that haven't been made from Mattel yet. You could argue that the Wave 20 Green Lantern, it looks very new 52-ish. She's just missing the panel lines. So I have the Green Lantern like the metallic version with the Sinestro 2-pack from Toys R Us. Other than his costume being a little different, I'm like, I'm just going to buy another Green Lantern just for the sake of buying another Green Lantern. And another Cyborg, yes, he looks a lot different, but I think I have the core figures that I want, not to mention I have the DC Collectibles New 52 versions of all those figures, and I love those figures so much. So I think that is where I'm planning on going, unless some point DC Collectibles says, okay, we're done doing, all the figures of the New 52, now we're going to go back to doing, I have Series 1 of the DC Direct Hush figures. And that's what DC Direct or Collectibles used to do. They would pick like a popular selling comic book series and then do all the figures that were in that comic book set. Maybe like Infinite Crisis, they would do select figures from that, or Batman and Superman Public Enemies, they would do figures from that, as opposed to every single character in the comics, which I'm glad they're doing that for the New 52. I'm still crossing my fingers for a Red Robin and a Nightwing somewhere from some company in the New 52. If Mattel comes out first, that'll be really, I'll have to get those just because it's part of the Batman family. But I think that at its core is what I would like to do. Seeing my Superman shirt here makes me kind of envy Stu Murray 47 that he just collects Superman. And maybe some supporting characters here or there, but you won't see on his shelf Batman or Wonder Woman or, whomever the other players might be. They just collect Superman, and I've always kind of been a Robin fan, and I want to try to get every single Robin figure that I can. And I think that's kind of what I would like to go back to. Yes, you'll see some other things on Rob's Rogues from here or there, but I want to try and get a hold of Robin type merchandise, because that's what's at the core of who I am and why I got into collecting, was Robin the Boy Wonder, or maybe soon to be Girl Wonder, who will know. So this was just kind of a rambling video, if you will, a roundup video as I like to call them, of kind of like where I'm at my current collecting stage. I'm slowly working on my Red Robin Mattel custom. I've been shooting videos as I've been putting it together, and I'll do one kind of like behind the scenes type video as I'm putting all the pieces together. Somebody's asked me if I'm still doing the Wayne Manor diorama. I am still working on that. I bought some flooring from Hobby Lobby for like miniature flooring, which I haven't done a review on that yet. I'm starting to work on the layout and the design, so I haven't built anything yet. I haven't bought any set pieces, but I'm trying to get how big I'm going to have this diorama, so I'm still doing that. I'm still going to be doing reviews. I've got a bunch of old figures to review, and I have a lot of DC UC figures up here that I have in my collection that I've never filmed a review for. I bought Wave 16 DC UC when they were coming out, and it was shortly after that that I decided to do a YouTube channel, so I never reviewed some of those figures that I had bought previously. So I'm going to go back and shoot videos for figures that I have had in my collection for a long time but I've never got around to doing. I didn't want anybody to think that, oh, Rob is dumping on Mattel. No, I love the Mattel figures. I've spent quite a bit of money buying all these figures, so I'm not at a point where I'm like, I don't want them anymore, I'm getting rid of them. But I do want to start saving some money and just kind of buying the iconic figures, if you will, that go, yes, this really represents the character. And I think I'm going to get more of those from DC Collectibles. Those are just such good figures. Of course, if you've been watching this for a while, I've been head over heels with Arkham City. Excuse me. And with Batman Arkham Origins coming out, I've already pre-ordered from DC Collectibles that Batman in black mask. I'm so happy that I'll be able to finally have a black mask in my Batman Rogues gallery. So I've got a lot of DC Collectibles and formerly DC Direct Arkham City figures. Once I was collecting those Arkham City figures and then looking at my Mattel figures, I really started to go, I think I like the DC Collectibles just a little bit more than Mattel. But like I said, there were holes in my Mattel collection that I wanted to finish and round out. but if I don't ever buy another Mattel figure, I think the saying is, I think I could rest and die a happy man going, I have all the figures that I really wanted. You know, I would love to get a Firestorm, and a Dr. Fate would be pretty cool. Deathstroke with his mask I think would be pretty cool. But I'm almost guaranteeing that we're going to get a Deathstroke from Arkham Origins, so I will probably definitely pick that up. But on Rob's Rogues, you'll probably see more DC collectibles, but I think that just might be because Mattel almost seems like they're phasing themselves out. Their waves, you know, aren't really big. The time in between, they go, okay, here's 2 more figures. Well, here's 2 more figures. And trying to go to a store to find them and going, well, if I have to go online, I'm not going to spend, you know, $8 in shipping from this place and then $8 shipping from this place. Maybe I'm only going to get just one figure, so if I'm going to get one, I think I'll just do the DC collectibles. So I will have plenty here on Rob's Rogues for you to watch and view. Let me know what you guys think. Go through your collections since January and figure up maybe how much you've spent. Writing that figure down, $481, I was like, holy cow. Spent $481 is, you know, rounded to $500, that's $100 a month. You know, some figures like Darkseid that I only spent $30 out of my pocket because my in-laws, you know, gave me $50 for Christmas, so I didn't have to come up with the whole mass all at one time. But my Arkham City Play Arts Robin figure was a little expensive. He was, you know, $60. So a lot of that stuff will add up after a while, and it kind of makes you look. People have asked, are you going to collect any of the Marvel stuff? No, I'm not. I love the Marvel characters, and you see me review, you know, Captain America, basically the Avengers figures, but I started looking at that going, if I jump on that, I'm really going to be cutting into things like food, gas, and all that type of stuff. And that's not really where my heart lies. I'm more of a DC guy. And I'm more of a Robin and Batman universe guy, and I want to try and get back to that I initially set out to do. And if some other figures catch my eye here or there, sure, yeah, I might pick them up. But we're going to stay more in the Batman realm, or the Robin realm, as it were. As I'm wearing this wonderful Superman shirt that you can get at Walmart, the Man of Steel shirt. I don't know if you've seen these, but these are pretty cool. I'll stand up so you can kind of see it. It's kind of got the ribs. Look at this 6-pack that I've got going on here. Yeah, right. So I just kind of wanted to share this video with you guys. I've been kind of getting some questions like, hey, are you going to get this? Are you going to get that? In some cases, I am going to get this, but maybe I'm not going to get that. I've had a blast collecting these Mattel figures, save for a couple of them. Like I said, I really want to try and get Beast Boy. I've looked at him on Amazon, and he's really kind of pricey. And even eBay too is $30 or $40. So maybe I'll get lucky and find him somewhere cheap somewhere else, or somebody's got a trade suggestion. If you don't have the Young Justice Batman, I have an extra one. Maybe a little flip-flop. I don't know what this is, but so this is going to do it for this portion. We'll stop the camera here, and we'll kind of look at some of my collection for you guys to look at. And coming up before too long will be my 2-year anniversary on YouTube, and I've got some special things kind of worked out for that, so a little bit more on that later, probably as we get into the latter part of June, early part of July. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for Rob's Rogues. There's always going to be plenty of reviews coming up, be it action figures, comic books, general thoughts. I'll probably do a thoughts video on the Man of Steel that's going to be coming out very, very soon. I hope this is the Superman movie that launches 1,000 ships for DC. So that's enough rambling. Let's get to the collection part of this video. See you guys. Alright, here we are. We're kind of going handheld for this. But this is the top of my shelf here that I have my action figures on. Most of them are on here. This is my DC collectibles shelf at the moment. And of course you can see everybody here. We'll kind of zoom in. Kind of see everybody. There's the Dark Knight Returns Robin base here, but Cyborg is under. Of course there's Green Arrow that has been recently added. There's the Damian Robin with Batman, little father and son there. And of course, you can't even get him in the frame all the time, the very large Darkseid. The game-changing figure for me that I was like, I think DC Collectibles is the way to go. And you see I have them standing, most of them on the Young Justice 3¼ inch base. It's a nice backdrop. I originally wanted to have this inside of my shelf on the next tier, but you kind of see it down there. But the top of it was just so tall. I haven't been able to figure that up. I'd like to get some lights above my ceiling. There's an extra Batman that maybe somewhere will play for my YouTube 2-year anniversary. We'll see. So you have to bear with me. I'm going to have to hop down here. I'm standing on a chair, so this is probably the part where I'm going to catch myself on film breaking my leg as I step down. So maybe I won't be buying anything anymore. But there's my DC Collectibles shelf. Of course, I said I've got Captain Cold, Black Manta, the Joker, and Martian Manhunter will be up on this shelf eventually. So the shelf's going to start to get full here before too long. So we'll step down off. There we go. This is my Young Justice shelf. One of my lights, let me turn the light off here, is currently out. So as you can see, this light is pretty dim here. But you can see I have some of my DC-UC figures up here, which is why I kind of bought some duplicate figures. My wife's like, don't you already have a Flash? When I bought the new 52 one, I'm like, yeah, but I don't have a Flash that's can stay with my Kid Flash and be on a DC-UC shelf or a Justice League shelf. So you see Aquaman and Aqualad back here fighting Black Manta, or almost Blue Manta. Have Batman and Robin back here standing on Batman's base. Superman and Superboy. I love this Superboy. I recently did a top 10 or a top 12, 14, whatever. I really wanted to include them. There's a lot of figures I really wanted to include but didn't. There's Red Arrow and Sportsmaster in the back there. And the modern Green Arrow and Artemis. I was toying for a moment as I had my finger over the light source there. I was really kind of toying putting up the, don't remember what wave the Green Arrow that I have, you'll see in a little bit. They had the, you know, almost ball cap with the feather in it up here and put the modern one down there, but it's kind of how I left him at the moment. You see my Justice League shelf here. Recently added Aquaman. There's the Green Arrow I was just talking about. See, I've got Cyborg off to the side, trying to figure out who I'm having standing what and where. There's Kilowog from the Green Lantern movie. Then you have kind of like my Super Friends with Apache Chief and everybody else. Toyman, his ankles are always so stinking weak that he falls over. He used to be standing over here and would just topple everybody down. So you kind of see some of the other players that I have here. Raven has just recently been added. My Batman shelf. You can see my Hush figures in the back that I'll be reviewing them before too long. And there's Carrie Kelly, the lone DC direct in this front part, but there's some DC collectibles in the back. My Batman and Robin timeline. Waiting for Damian. So, and then the lights in this shelf down here I do not have yet, but here is my Arkham City, which I love these figures. DC Collectibles did such a wonderful job on these figures. So I really don't have them set up on this shelf yet. They're kind of haphazard with some of their Mattel counterparts. I think before too long, the Mattel figures I'll probably end up putting in an upstairs bedroom and only probably keeping Two-Face and the Joker, as I don't have them in the DC Collectibles. And then the very, very bottom shelf, I currently have my 2003 Batmobile from the Mattel, from the original Batman line, and then my Bat Signal. So that's a quick look at my collection. I know it was kind of fast. I didn't go through everything, but I wanted you to be able to see kind of how I had them set up. Took a page out of Chapman Films and got these spice racks at Walmart for $5 for everybody to stand on. It was very cool. I may do that down here in my Batman shelf as well. Haven't figured out exactly what I'm doing down here yet, but they're kind of on a hodgepodge. I'd like to kind of get them in groups. Maybe like I have some Golden Age figures and Bronze Age and Modern Age, to kind of get them in their respective groups. I think that'd be kind of cool. So that is going to be that. Alright, that was a quick little look at my collection. I didn't go quite through and say all the figures that were there. You probably saw some that I haven't had a chance to review yet, so maybe I'll do some of those. As I was shooting it, I was remembering I'm just about ready to finish up the Batman animated series of reviews that I've been doing. It's gone on quite a while. I filmed a whole bunch of stuff, but I recently went from night shift to day shift, so if you've been watching Rob's Rogues regularly, the times that I'm uploading videos has kind of changed. I end up uploading some more in the night, and I shoot a whole bunch on Saturdays, when traditionally I would wake up in the afternoon before work, shoot a bunch of videos in the afternoon, and then upload them during the day before I went to work in the evening. Now that I'm on day shift, that's kind of hard. I get home and the wife and I are spending time, so I don't like shooting a lot of videos during the evening while we're trying to watch TV and kind of hanging out with friends and family. So I try and do some of that Saturday morning and then post in the evening when I get home. But hopefully that's not messing anybody up too much. And I had forgot that as I was filming the Batman animated series stuff, I was putting them, leaving some of those on the camera, or moving them to the hard drive rather, and forgetting that they weren't on the camera, going, oh, I've got to, shoot those, but some of these other figures have come out that I wanted to get them up first. So the Batman animated series will eventually be finished here soon. I'm going to be doing the video games that I have from the animated series, and I'm going to try filming myself playing the video games and kind of having some fun with that. So we'll see how that looks. I really don't have a way to hook the video camera into the PS2 or 3 or Super Nintendo, or figure up how to get it on the computer. I don't want to bog down the computer. I've got a lot of stuff on there. So I may just do it old school and throw a camera up and let you kind of see it the best you can, just so you get an idea of what the games look like. But I know I'm kind of stretching out the Batman animated series a little bit, and I haven't uploaded a lot recently, so I think after I upload this, I will include a animated series right around the corner from it. So that's going to be it for the Rob's Roundup and a little bit of look at my collection. So like I said, kind of pulling back from Mattel a little bit, but I think Mattel is really kind of making that easy to do. They've kind of finished at the end of their line, and now they're just kind of slowly churning out new 52 figures, and DC Direct is really starting to churn those out. So I think I'm just going to kind of jump on board with the DC Collectibles bandwagon and just kind of see how I feel about some of the Mattel figures as they're coming out. It's really kind of interesting. Like, I've recently reviewed Aquaman, and Olivia's recently reviewed him, ODC, that's me, and all three of us kind of have different perspectives of the same figure. I think it's always kind of interesting to do. So, go check out Chapman Films, Devil's Toys UK 2, Stu Murray 47, Automatica, Electric Detonator, Say Hi Man. There's a whole bunch of people out there on YouTube that we're all friends in this wonderful community of collecting action figures. So it's been cool kind of getting different perspectives on everybody as we're all this reviewing community together. So thanks for watching Rob's Rogues. I hope you continue to watch Rob's Rogues. I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. Comic book reviews are going to be starting very soon. So as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues signing off, saying we will see you guys next time.